Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Now, Anele Mdoda is restoring dignity for school children all across the country, one toilet at a time, after sharing a powerful plea in November 2018, rallying citizens, corporates and NGOs to support her mission to provide cleaner, safer toilets for South African school children. Can you believe that in this day and age, 2019, South Africa still has 904 pit latrines, of course affecting the health and the safety of our school children. And I love that you are spearheading to bring an end to something like this, because you are restoring dignity. I cannot believe that this is something that we still have to deal with. But thank you so much for taking the challenge.
You know, I'm from the Eastern Cape, right? Yeah. And every now and then we'd go home to the rural areas where my dad was born, which is in Utsolo, right? And there'd be a long drop there. Yes. You know, now my dad's built a house there and there's running water and everything and there's a borehole, but I'm 35 now. So, I mean, from when I was young up until 2021, we'd always have to use the long drop. Yeah. And it's just a fear of mine, like, what happens if I fall in there? Yeah. You know, will somebody hear me? Will I scream? Like, what do you fall into? Yeah. And then you ask yourself, what happens, you know? And then when the 6-year-old drowned, a child, guys, a South African child who drowned in a long drop, I was like, no. You know, one child is too much. Which parent must be told that their child is not coming home from school because they drowned in a toilet?
Oh, wow.
Wow, I mean, that in itself, just to think about that, being a parent myself is something that is completely harrowing. It tears your life apart at its seams. But thank goodness to people like you who have that heart and who have that compassion for people and for our communities as well. So then you started this crowdfunding initiative, and you've raised, what, 1.1?
So 1.1 is what we've raised.
Million. Let's quickly not 1.1 rand, 1.1 million rand. And
so those toilets are actually almost done.
That's incredible. How many toilets is that?
It's 20 toilets for a school in Lusikisiki. And it's not a shortcut. It's proper, it's bricks, it's brick and mortar.
Yes.
Because I didn't also want, you know, they're like, no, there's a new technology. There they are.
Yeah.
You know, there's a new I mean, for them to see these toilets and a wall is up and it's flushing and it's got running water, you know, not only is it, for me, it's a safety thing, but for a 7-year-old, it's a dignity thing, you know? The fact that, I was like, yours is Anele Mdoda, you know, there's water. And I'm like, this child has never seen running water in 2019, something that we all take for granted. And that's why it costs 1.1 million per school, because most places, you know, the reason they don't even have the toilets is because the plumbing underground is non-existent.
It's non-existent.
It's not there. There's no infrastructure. So we open the earth and we go in and we put the plumbing in and we put the boreholes in, and, you know, it's really from ground up. But what I like is that in 20 years, it's still going to be standing and it has to be maintained, right? And I've just got wonderful partners who everybody's come through, you know, the architects, you know, Design X were just like, you know what, we can't give you money, but we'll design them for you, right? And then Domestos was like, look, what we're going to do for you is we're going to maintain them. When you're done, we'll maintain them so that if you come back, and I'm like Inspector Morse, I'm like a matron. I should have been in education. I'm like, look at me, I'm like a district regional inspector. Look at me, because I just pop in, I'm like, I just came to see if everything here is working out, you know?
We need more of that.
And you know, and I've been to the school 3 times now, because also it's not a case of, okay, raise the money, you've got the toilets by. I want the relationship, you know, and that's why it's a slow process, you know. I want the relationship with the school. I want the relationship with the kids. You know, I want them to think bigger for themselves. I want them to not miss school because they've got a bladder infection.
I hear you.
You know, I want them to not get into a toilet and think, oh my word, is this thing gonna fall? And if it falls, what is gonna happen? And you said something very powerful, that now that you're a parent, I don't think I would have done this if I had not had Alake. But when Lumka drowned, it was like Alake drowned. And I was like, his little face, you know, screaming for his mother.
Oh, man. Wow, powerful.
So I guess this is the start of it. And the impact has already been absolutely immense. So what's the big dream?
So we've got 2 more schools that I'm raising money for now. So we've done 1.1, now I'm looking for 2.2, right? Then we're gonna do 2 schools. And it's you know, I work very closely with the education department because they know the schools as well. Because they're also trying, you know. And everyone is like, yes, but isn't it the government's job? I'm like, yes, guys, but you don't have to be in government to govern, you know. So the plan now is there's what, 3,000 schools, and President Cyril Ramaphosa's also pretty much, you know, chucked a lot of budget behind it, and he's saying, I think they say Project 2030 or something. By then, no school will have pit latrines. And I mean, obviously the government's got bigger manpower than me and bigger budgets, but we're just going to pick a way as normal citizens.
And find a way. And that's the thing as well. We also need to start finding our own ways around our socioeconomic problems in our communities without looking up and manna from heaven. Let's and sometimes we are that guiding light for.
And it meets, right? Can I tell you something? It meets, because when I was in varsity, in our dormitory in first year, well, second year, you know, first year, the best 2 years of my life. I shared a space with girls who came from Limpopo, and they'd never used running toilets, right? And, you know, they've become the most successful people. I'm speaking architects and accountants. But it meets, guys. There's no ways you can think that that's their problem. You know, that's them, and it meets. We all live in one world. It meets. And you know, I'm not saying that we're going to be equal. I'm okay with the fact that people aren't equal. I just feel that there should be a level that no one drops under, right? And here is pit latrines. Here is where everyone should be.
Too many people that have dropped under. How can we assist? Like, I know our viewers are watching, we see your passion, we see your heart. How can we be of assistance to you?
Crowdfund, 10 Rand, 100 Rand, corporates, 100,000 Rand. You know, I've got a crowdfunding site. I hope it's gonna go on the screen right now. Please, on the screen right now. You can go to, it's thunderfund.com/project/Anele. And anything, it's like 500 Rand, anything to get us to the 1.1, and then you can know that that's a school. And then we push that out the way, and then I'll go after the next one, I go after the next one, I go after the next one.
Wow.
Powerful.
That's amazing. You've heard it here, www.thunderfund.com/project/Anele.
There you go.
I even remember that. It wasn't even on the screen. So we'll put that on.
Our director said he's going to put that on the screen, so you can definitely get involved.
Is it Byron?
It's Byron, yes. Anele, of course, leading the charge as we continue to bring dignity to school children and get rid and eradicate pit latrines forever.
What a woman. What a time. Celebrate!
Yuli late!